And so now I guess it's an opportunity for me to introduce the amazing Lena. Lena, your passion for FMCG, your fierce loyalty, she bleeds Woolworths, I love it. And the incredible insights that you shared with us already last night from your trip in the Retail World Congress. I won't take your thunder, I'll let you share everything with the team on your year, but it's been incredible. We can't wait to have you formally part of our alum as well. So well done.
As much as I loved James's and his team's speeches, I think it just speaks to the average age of the room, the winners. So, sorry, James. Oh, I have to follow up the debate in the right way. My speech is a bit more fluffy, so just buckle up, everybody. But hi, everyone. I'm Lena, and actually, I have firstly a reflection that standing in front of all of you today actually gives me flashbacks to last year when I was, walking up the hills of North Sydney with my husband, and we live on the coast, so we're not used to hills, and we were huffing and puffing, and he told me, you know what, you need to win this year, because I'm not signing up for it again. And trust me, he did not mean the hills. He just meant the amount of work and effort and the time and the weekends and the sacrifices that go for those who participate in the essay part, but also in the final presentation. So congratulations to all finalists this year. Well done. But coming back to my beloved husband, I could see his blood rushing off his face when he figured out that next year I still have to give a speech and prepare it. He decided to sit that one out tonight, so I'm by myself, but I'll try to do the best job possible. And I've actually been thinking about how to start this speech for weeks. Michelle Foley is a witness of that, because I've been pestering her about what to talk about on this speech, so thanks, Michelle, for your time. But when I was, almost on the verge of mental breakdown a couple days ago and still didn't have my speech, I remembered this story from over 10 years ago now, when I got my first retail gig back in Poland in a discounter store. I was so excited, and my best friend's mom said to me, "So when are you getting the real job?" And to be fair, I was quite shocked. I was not expecting that, because it was my dream job. I didn't know how to explain back then why retail is one of the best, if not the best, industries to start a career in. And today I decided to kick off this speech from sharing with you my 3 reasons for why I fell in love with retail. And sorry, this is still giving me shakes. I'm not a best public speaker, so bear with me. So for those who know me, you would know that I'm a bit of a nerd. And I love learning new things. And what retail offers here is a never-ending variety of subjects that you can explore and get curious about. Whether it is the AI, or whether it's sustainability, or whether it's automation, the pace of change will only speed up. And what we can be sure of is that my little nerd is still screaming from excitement about learning of all of those things. Secondly, outside of work, I love escape rooms. Boomers might not know what that is, but you can ChatGPT it. By now, I probably have done 150 of those. Had my little team that we explored on the weekends, all the escape rooms in Poland. It's actually quite a competitive sport in Poland. Not yet here in Australia, but maybe one day we'll get there. And solving problems and learning new things and finding the answer to the whys and the new questions that are coming up every day is the other passion of mine that gets my creative juices flowing. Whether it is unpacking the ever-evolving customer needs, or whether it is building the Tetris of product sourcing, development, manufacturing, logistic, launching, pricing strategies, and so on, or digging into the rabbit holes of market share, or whether it is finding the holy grail of actually relevant category strategy. I can keep going, but you kind of get the point. And lastly, the third reason why I fell in love with retail, and probably one of the most important ones out of the three, is that whatever I do has to have a meaning. It has to have a purpose. Because there will be tough times coming ahead of us one day, and you need to have the reason to keep going. And here, retail offered me the responsibility to provide 26 million of Australians with everyday products, the responsibility for employment of 1.3 million people in retail alone, the responsibility for those magical family moments that each and every one of us gets when we get together on dinner table with our loved ones. So in a way, we are all very privileged to work in an industry where we get to use our creativity to answer the whys, where we get to explore the unknown and understand the ambiguity around us that keeps it exciting, where we get to, together with millions of our colleagues, contribute to those special moments that stay with us forever. That's why I fell in love with retail, and that's why I want to continue my career in this industry. But let's not get too sentimental. Back to the Congress. So, World Retail Congress, Paris. That's what I decided to attend this year. Was a great event. And one of the sessions that stood out the most to me was actually comparing high performance in sports and retail. Because if you think about it, retail is all about team sport. You can't win by yourself. Naturally, in retail, as in sports, you have different caliber of players. There are the participants that are more than happy to show up 9 to 5, do their job, clock off. They're just happy to be there, happy to be part of it. Then you have the performers. Those are the guys that actually deliver the results. They prove that they deserve to be there. They deliver the badges, the KPIs, the scorecards. After them follow the champions. They are in it to win it. They are the guys that get the medal. They are the ones with best-in-class product launches. They are the ones with leading market share. They just clearly nail it. But that's not the end. After that comes legends, who stay at the top performance for multiple years in a row. They cycle their best evers with more best evers. They win customers over and over and over again and leave competitors behind year on year. And finally, we have the immortals. Those guys make the history. They bring change that moves the whole industry. Their legacy has the impact that changes the trajectory and sets the tone for decades to come. So there I was, glued to the seat in the World Retail Congress Center, and listening to the speech and thinking with my little voice in the head, where do I belong on this spectrum of greatness? It was almost as if I had the Harry Potter sorting hat on my head, telling me like, difficult, very difficult. So yeah, are you there with me now? Like thinking, where do you actually sit on your journey to greatness? Well, I'll help you out today. There was no one to help me out back in Paris. Thanks, Bernie. Given that we are all here, hopefully voluntarily, on a Thursday night, I'll make an estimated assumption that we are all at least performers, because it's after 5. Maybe we are even champions. And champions are addicted to progress, to continuous learning and growth. They always are trying to get this 1% better tomorrow than they were today. Now, that is the important bit I want you to actually remember from my speech. Feedback is linked to performance. Feedback is linked to growth. Feedback is the food for champions. To receive, reflect, absorb, and act on feedback, champions need, like any sports person a timeout. They need a pit stop. Time when they can actually absorb, understand, and balance the delivery of results, being the stretch, the growth zone, with the recovery and care, being the glue that holds it all together. One of them absorbs energy. The other one uploads energy. And what happens when we all focus only on delivering results every day? When we stretch ourselves to the point where, yeah, cool, we have great results, winning all the time, for a short time, we break, we burn out, we quit. Glue before stretch. No stretch without glue. Well, what is that glue, you might ask? Well, it can be a lot of different things to a lot of different people, but among them is the common framework, the belief behind the why, the understanding of togetherness, the celebration of successes. But the most important thing, it is the trust. So just keep in mind that one thing. Glue before you stretch, and there is no stretch without the glue, or things will break. Joe Barry is where leaders of today come to listen to the new ideas of leaders of tomorrow, in something that can only be described as the Cirque du Soleil for the mind. And here I wanted to thank Bernie, Ezra, Bernie, Ezra, Keith, in that order, for support and for continuously landing the next edition, together with the army of people that sits behind the event every single year. I want to thank also all of you and the companies that you represent for building the platform where the future leaders' voices can be heard, where people like me can practice their public speaking. And to the finalists of the 2024, wherever you guys are all sitting, I see you scattered around. Congratulations on having a courage to having your ideas heard, because there is many, many people who will never put their hand up and take the risk of being challenged publicly in front of senior leaders on the industry. So on that alone, you deserve a big round of applause. Okay, I told you some stories, and I have just one more to wrap up. So there was this bridge in South America, in Honduras, a region that's very prone to natural disasters, extreme weather conditions, wind, rain, hurricanes, you name it. In 1990s, it was commissioned. The same year, Honduras was hit with the second most deadliest hurricane that they've recorded. The bridge is 500 meters long, but it's not known for its length, scale, or size. And it was still standing there after the hurricane finished. Great story, right? But when the water receded, the river was somewhere else. And while built with the right intent, it became irrelevant in the new context. So whatever your growth journey is, make sure you build it to adapt, not to last. Thank you.